Hello and welcome to jasonnewland.com. My name's Jason Newland. Please only listen when you can safely close your eyes. This is going to be a relaxation session with Vinny in the background. Do you want to see him? There you go. Shall we leave him in the background? Shall we? That's better. So I will continue the rest of the recording with Vinny doing whatever he's going to do. So, thank you for listening. As I said, this is going to be a relaxation session. All I'm going to ask you to do is to close your eyes. Unless you want to look at my funny face, but I would advise closing your eyes because I'll be honest, I find it easier to relax when I'm not looking at myself in the mirror. Just find it easier. I'd like you to just get in touch with how you feel. Just noticing how you are. Just going through your body, focusing and looking for the part of your body that feels the most relaxed. That's it. Just look for the part of your body that feels the most comfortable, loose. Maybe there's even a nice feeling, a feeling of comfort or a feeling of pleasure, or maybe even a really pleasurable feeling. So I'd like you to zone in on that particular part of your body. And just count from 10 down to 1 as you focus on that part of your body. Allowing the rest of your body to relax. But at the same time, allowing you to really get in touch with that feeling. Now, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just notice again how the rest of your body feels by doing a rough scan and then going back and focusing on that part of your body that feels really comfortable. And remember that during this recording we're going to have Vinny, although he's not in the background anymore, he is in the background behind me chomping on a treat. So he's as much a part of these recordings as I am. I guess he shouldn't really be, should he? But he is. He's my co-host. If anyone's interested in how to get hold of a t-shirt as beautiful as the one I'm wearing now, then just go to your nearest really, really cheap clothes shop. You should find one. I know it looks really expensive and extravagant on a body like mine, but it's not very expensive at all. So we're going to focus again on that part of your body. And I'm just going to be repeating this. So it's nothing sophisticated. It's nothing really hypnotic about it other than focusing, wrapping your mind around the idea of that part of your body feeling really comfortable. What happens, and I'm skipping ahead a little bit, but what tends to happen is the more you focus on that part of your body and then you move on to the other parts, then you go back to that part of your body. I'm pointing to my rib for some reason. It's not my nipple, it's my rib, and I don't know what because there's nothing really going on there. I think if I was going to focus on a part of my body that feels really good right now, it would be my head. It almost feels like it's my brain, my big head. It feels like probably the top scalp part where I used to have hair. That's the and my eyes as well, when my eyes are closed. I always find, I don't know about you, I always find that when I close my eyes, generally, it's not just a relief, it's not just a sense of letting go, whether it's temporarily, just for a few seconds. And I don't mean between each blink, although you could class blinking as closing your eyes, because technically it is. That's interesting though, isn't it? Because then you could start thinking, well, every time you close your eyes, you become relaxed. Not relaxed in a way of like all floppy. So if you're doing something like driving or, I don't know, climbing a tree. Why would you climb a tree? Maybe you're building a tree house. Maybe you're building an igloo. Not in a tree, but you're focusing on something. It's still nice to have that degree of comfort without the tension, without the stress, knowing that every time you blink, you almost that feeling of comfort, well-being. Maybe we should call the word well-being. Kind of floods through your body, continuously being replenished every time you blink. But anyway, back to the subject. Focus again on that part of your body. Again, I'm pointing to my ribs for some reason. So I'm going to point to my head because that's where I'm feeling it. It does feel nice. Like over my kind of forehead, my eyes. It's hard to really put my hands over my eyes because I'm wearing goggles. For those listening on the podcast, I don't mean like swimming goggles or snorkel, I've not got snorkels and flippers on. It's glasses, but can't really put my hands over my glasses without having to clean them because of the smudges. It's not because my hands are dirty. Look, I just cleaned them. I did my monthly clean earlier. So I miss having hair. I know it's not really relevant to the recording, but it's weird because when I do a podcast, I don't see myself. When I just do an audio, I don't really notice that I'm bald. But when I'm doing a video, it's prominent. I made a little bit of a clean up today. I just had a shower and I trimmed me even greyer in beard and shaved my head. Basically trimmed my hair the same length as my beard. So I'm basically like a tennis ball with handles. What tends to happen though, even though there's distractions, I guess I'm the one making the distractions or causing the distractions. You're the one causing the pleasure. There's a sense of comfort. that the rest of your body starts to take on. It's almost like by focusing on, again, I'm going to my I'm just going to keep going to my ribs because my ribs are starting to feel nice. Every time I touch my ribs, there's a degree of pleasure, which is weird, because I don't normally class that as an erogenous zone. But it's feeling more pleasurable, very calm. But I'm also noticing that the rest of my body is also starting to feel looser. Your body's starting to feel more relaxed. But all the other parts, not just the part that originally felt calm, loose, and maybe had a pleasant feeling, possibly even really nice feeling. When I said the word pleasant feeling, I thought I'd go even higher than that, and I thought, I don't know what's higher than pleasure. It seemed a bit weird to say ecstasy, because, you know, this isn't really, that doesn't seem to fit in with the recording. If I start talking about a focus on a part of your body that feels ecstatic, that seems a bit strange. But it's okay to do that as well, of course. It is up to you, because you are the boss. You are in control. Sometimes it just seems, you know, when you take a little bit of time out, you move away from that stuff, whatever that stuff is, and by focusing on my voice, my squeaky voice, it may just be a distraction. It may be more. But something happens, and I've been doing this for, blimey, 19 and a half years now. Not this recording. It might seem like I've been doing this recording for 19 and a half years. It might really feel like it's dragging. But, you know, making recordings, over 19 years. And what I've found over that time, apart from me losing my hair and going grey and looking completely different, and no longer being able to trust a fart, other than that, I've noticed that sometimes just by listening to my voice, I mean, it could be anyone's voice, but, you know, I'm the one talking, so I guess my voice at the moment, there's something happens. And people have told me this time and time again over, as I said, nearly 2 decades. Wow, I feel old. And I look at myself in the camera and I feel even older. Lovely. I don't have a complex, honest. And then your mind slows down. The things that were concerning you before, or I like to say before, have just almost disappeared in the mist. Kind of just, even if it's just temporarily, just moved away. I'll tell you what, Vinny's very rude. About an hour ago, right, he's walking around the flat going sniffing. So he walks into the living room sniffing around, very, very confused. Look, he doesn't go and then he went into the bedroom sniffing around. Then he went into the front, near the front door in the hallway, sniffing, pushes a letterbox open from inside, like, pulls it from inside. He can do it easier than me because he's got claws. And he goes in the kitchen. And I said, Vinny, what are you doing? He's constantly making fun of me, so I'm not impressed sometimes. I'm not always in the mood for it. And I said, what are you doing? He said, I'm just trying to figure something out. I said, what are you trying to figure out? He said, that horrible smell's gone. I said, what? He said, that really horrible smell's disappeared, and I can't figure out where it's gone. Then he opens the door, looks in the bathroom, he said, oh, have you had a shower, Daddy? That explains it. And he runs off giggling. Rude. But he's a good boy, generally. He's my little treacle. My little treacle tart. And now I want to have some treacle tart and ice cream. Do you ever have treacle tart, stick in a microwave and just, technically, I suppose you shouldn't do it, burn it. Do it so it's really crispy and stick some ice cream on. Oh, take it out of the tin foil, obviously, before you do it. It tastes so nice. I mean, the thing is, restaurants don't do it like that, and you can't take your own microwave in. That's frowned upon. You know, especially when you start asking for an extension lead. So, let's give me a bit of a weird visual. Focus again on that part of your body. Maybe it's expanded, like my waistline. Maybe it's not just in one place anymore. Sometimes that part increases, the pleasure increases and starts to spread. Almost like, you know, one of those, what do they call them? Like a sandbank. So it looks almost like an island. And then the tide rises and completely covers that, what looked like an island. Maybe it was an island, but completely covers it until the tide goes down again. It's a little bit like that. Well, it's nothing like that really, but you know, it's nothing like an island or sand. But the idea that it spreads so that feeling almost covers your entire body. So that every part of you feels a sense of that pleasure, a sense of that feeling of comfort and calmness. I'm going to count again from 10 down to 1 and notice how much more relaxed you can feel. Now, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's quite peaceful. I mean, we've got birds in the trees outside, and I don't bother them. They don't like it. I've asked them to be quiet, but put a sign up and everything, but it just makes no difference. They're still doing their thing, and I can't expect the world to stop just because I'm making this life-changing recording. But somehow my mind, it's not just slowed down, it's almost stopped. which is weird that I'm still able to talk. I seem to have, my mouth seems to be connected to somewhere else. It's kind of strange. I don't even have to think about what I'm going to say next. It just comes out of my mouth. And I do feel really peaceful. Really, really calm. That's nice. And you can just allow that feeling to grow, and you can sit with your eyes closed if you want, or you can open your eyes whenever you're ready if they are closed, and just enjoy having that feeling. And maybe when you think of my voice talking, it can give you that sense of calmness in your body and in your mind. So for now, I'm going to go. Thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself, because you do deserve to be happy. Be gentle with yourself, because you deserve to feel safe. Lots of love. Bye.